Happy Monday, happy rainy Monday, and good morning. I thought about it, and I did a few searches, and I think what we will have to try is kind of a method. I should come up with a clever name for it, but essentially, you're just throwing out a whole body of keywords, and then you get to pick through it like a little seashore critter, just kind of like, that looks good. That looks good. So there might not be any convention for finding the core of it, is what I was getting at. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If you go, so for the first experiment, we'll do advanced catalog search. And I have a list of keywords for you to try, but of course, we can expand on those. So here's my set of keywords. So I'm going to start out with breaking it up. So in the library catalog, in our library catalog, we trend towards for primary sources especially, like Western tribal entities, identities, and things like that. So Navajo, Paiute, Ute, Shoshone. But there's a lot of literature from worldwide. So there's a lot of stuff coming from Central and South America right now. So those names might show up. So if you're interested in expanding beyond Western identity, like Western United States, you could throw those in there just after, just put in or, and I'll show you these at the end of the video, or you can see them right there. When you first start out on that, what you're doing is you're just like, I want a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and it's kind of like you want to see everything on that topic. To narrow it down, we do the and this is one where it would really be easy to expand into what are, so handicap is a atavistic, out of date term, but I think it's worth putting in there. But are there other elements of it? Could it be visual impairment? Can it be hearing impairment, deafness, blindness? Can it be any number of different ailments, disabilities, permanent, temporary? You could do an or and put those in there. Is there a particular disability for a particular tribal entity that is remarkable that you come across? As you find those, you can add those because there's so many things listed as disability. Even the term disability is a social construction that's being picked on, and so like mental health. If you go back like 50 years, depression was not a disability. These days, it might be considered under certain circumstances. So how you negotiate that and how you negotiate this top line or how you go through those. So let me do a search and show you some of the issues going on. First of all, there's lots, but the keywords are just kind of like all over the place. Oh, actually, there's, okay, accidentally you might find some good ones as we go. I found, did I find a book? Disability in Different Cultures, Reflections on Local Concepts. So you might, as you go through this, you might find stuff that's really good at the outset. But I found that it was kind of, it wasn't quite covering everything, and there was like too many search results. So I narrowed down, so in the databases, you could reliably go down to subject, but I'm going straight for the title. Or you can narrow down to abstract in the databases, which is one of my favorites, because that's kind of like, just give me the main points. But if we go straight to title, even then the search isn't perfect, but it's like all of a sudden a lot more sustainable to chew on. It's a smaller amount. But a lot of this is going to be case studies where somebody's going in, looking at a population, going, yeah, there's a lot of people who need classes. How do we get to that next line of the primary sources? Again, you throw out all those different things. What's a primary source? In your mind, there is probably, or in your class, there's probably a discrete definition. So I threw in qualitative, oral history, primary sources, but it could be like photographs, it could be oral histories, it could be interviews, it could be a visual or a focus group. And I put that in any field. And then we narrow down so it's like way small. 48. And again, some of these aren't great, but this might help you get the keywords that you're looking for. Is there a particular touchstone, seminal story of indigeneity, support of disabled members of a community, and how that is relatable to everything else? We can go further on that. Then there's decolonization. So there's a film. Is that a film song? I've heard that before. All I can think of is the Radiohead song. So we're looking for more keywords at this point, but also, grab the chocolate chips out of the cookie of things that you think look good. This one, maybe not. This one, maybe yes. I don't know. Okay, so library catalog. Whenever you're in the advanced search, there's this little thing up here. So you can go back and forth and modify your search. Just for what it's worth, sometimes those get lost. Okay, next place to go. So as you're taking notes, keep them. But the next one I want to show you before we go into the databases is the open web. Be that as it may, this is something that you can play around with because it's great for discovering things, especially since COVID. People are putting up personal stories, narratives, oral histories, oral tradition, and things like that. So this is one where it might be best to put it in like a tribal name. And this one, it's hard to put the or, so you kind of have to try out different tribal names or disability, indigeneity, things like that. But in Google, if you do the context first, so this could be oral tradition, oral history, disability, Shoshone. It's going to look for things that are oral histories first, and then it's going to look with your keyword context. And I saw one when I was looking at this. Oh, it's something as you go down, it'll say show results with disability only. But all of a sudden we've got like a Shoshone oral history where she had a phone ringing, something disability like a curvature of the spine or something. Isn't that cool? So what is that? Scoliosis. This is where you would find those primary sources, and they're digitized and put out there by academic institutions. Oh, we even have one here. But sometimes it's hard to find them in the catalog because the full text isn't as easily searchable in the catalog. So that's a great place to go. Tribal names are really good. The names of individual people, if you have them, these are great to go. Some of the other ones that you can try, let's try, just for fun, oral tradition, if I could spell that correctly. Oral tradition. Oh, it's messing up. Other ones you could try. Oh, we could do primary sources or interview. Disability policy. There's going to be a lot of stuff out there. So again, you're like, what are those called? A hermit crab. Like a hermit crab cruising around the ocean. So there might not be anything directly perfect, and you might have to build a lot of circumstantial evidence, or there might be. All of a sudden we have Arapaho. That's really good. Okay. No, it looks really good. Cool. Okay. Open. You can go back and forth as you discover tribal names, incidences, particular anecdotes, and things like that. So let's move on to the recommended databases. So I said JSTOR would be good, and JSTOR has an advanced search, I think. JSTOR changes its interface from time to time because they were a very, very early database, and they kind of home grew their own database. So have I done this yet? Pardon my pause to do the dual authentication. Okay. JSTOR is great though because it has like a deep, deep backlog that the other databases don't have. Where's my search? They changed JSTOR. Oh Lord. Okay, proceed. Get rid of my Zotero. Oh, there's the search. So when you go to advanced search, that's what we're looking for. There should be a way to add extra search lines. Yeah, here we go. So you can add rows that way. Okay. JSTOR is a little wonky, but it's worth going through again because of that deep backlog. So for databases that I recommend, I have a handful. And if you go under research guides, let's go to my social work guide, because social work, they're looking at like public policy and things like interventions for populations. And it shares a lot in common with the communication ones too. So if you go to PhD and Master's Help, so it'll be this URL right here, Campus Guides, and it's not unlike the communication guide. But here are my favorites that I'd recommend that you try. Sociological Abstracts is worldwide, but this one's really good because it's Western heavy. So there's going to be a lot of stuff from the United States, but they're going to be looking at things and incidences of like a tradition of family care and things like that some of the more clinical databases wouldn't necessarily look at. Social Science Premium, okay. These two, maybe not. PsycInfo, I would use the word interviews. That one maybe not. PAIS is public policy. That one might be worthwhile. But CINAHL is really good because there are people who, nursing, but they have lots and lots of research on the intersection between people taking care of themselves and then negotiating like the professional medical stuff. And so there's a lot going on. So let me show you that one. CINAHL will surprise you. They work with uninsured people. They work with undocumented people. Essentially, they're like the lawyers or the social workers or everything for the health sciences. It's an incredibly rich database. Okay, I'm just going to throw it in there and just go with this. Let's see if I'm right. '63. Oh, this is a tribe in India. Oh, cultural care practices provided at home by indigenous mothers. So this one actually might be pretty cool. Telehealth was a big thing during COVID. There was a lot of very impoverished tribal groups that suffered incredible amounts of attrition, death, and suffering and isolation during COVID. I think a lot of those might show up. Oh, so this might be pretty good. Looks like a lot of it's worldwide stuff as well. So you might, oh, cool. The intersection of being blind and being Maori in New Zealand. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that I was looking for. But it's a systematic review. So hopefully you can find those primary sources in there. Having said that, the last place, and I think I talked about this in class, is Scopus and Web of Science. Go in and do similar searches, but then again, you can see what it has cited and what cited it in the meantime. And this one goes across all the disciplines. And you can just add search fields in Scopus this way too. Okay, that's my quick review on how I did the search. These are some Google searches that you might find things. Switch out the population names, switch out the names of the particular disability identity. Try adding other ones on these, and then let me know how it goes. You should find tons of stuff, but it seems like there might not be like a particular field. It might be just embedded in a bunch of different fields. So I'll keep thinking on this, but dig around and see what you find, and I'll keep thinking about it too.